Hello Aries, and welcome back to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for all you Aries, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp Aries. If you don't know where those placements are, there will be a free natal link in the description box down below for you to go and check that out for yourselves. This is a follow-on reading for the other two readings that I've done, because I'm still focusing on the Venus energy at this time, because Venus is still moving direct, but she's still in her own shadow, and she won't come out her own shadow until the 29th of July. So I'm just going to finish off these readings for the end of this month, and yours is one of the last ones that I'm doing, Aries. It seems like ages since I was actually doing any Aries readings at all. There's been lots of other things in between though. If you haven't checked out my channel already, please could you do so. There is everything on my playlists. I do new moons and full moon videos, as well as the major shifts of the bigger planets when they have connections with other planets as well. Lots of things on my channel that you could go and check out, not just tarot reading, also astrology that I do as well. So that's why I'm kind of focusing on this Venus energy. So to start with, I did you and question mark, and then I went a bit deeper into the actual Venus retrograde energy itself. And now, like I say, I'm doing this Venus direct reading to see if anything has changed for you, Aries, because often when Venus goes direct, things can shift very quickly, things can change, relationships that might have seemed to have been ended can suddenly come back again. And for me, the Venus in Gemini energy has all been about kind of healing the wounds from our early days of discovering relationships, shall we say, because Venus is very much that energy of early school time and kind of up to the later teenage years. And so it's that time when we're kind of stepping out beyond the family, and it's when we first start making connections, whether it's friends or kind of more intimate relationships that happen during that time period. And it can be an absolute minefield. And so the situations that we go through when we're younger can have a massive effect on the rest of our lives as well, without us even being aware of that fact. So I feel that this Venus has kind of been a little bit about clearing out a lot, or actually quite a lot about clearing out this stuff from our kind of childhood and teenage years, the patterns that we have been repeating in our kind of relationships as well, because Venus is very much about relationships. So with that being said, Aries, I would like to show you the first card that I have pulled for you, or that fell out for you during my shuffling and my meditation. This card, the Five of Water. I will also show you this card, which is on the bottom of the deck here. And what I'm getting from this is that it was like a sudden plunge of emotions. It's like 1 minute you were here, kind of on top of the world, maybe feeling very joyous, very happy, things were going okay, and then all of a sudden everything just like went like bleh. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting, this kind of energy of kind of like just thrown in the deep end, maybe just this sudden overwhelming emotion, this sudden overwhelming kind of, it could be a sense of, oh my goodness, like this is too much. Maybe it was too good for some of you, and you're not used to having like relationships that actually function and actually work properly. So that could have kind of had an adverse effect on you here as well. For some of you, it could also have been a situation where something went from being very joyous and very happy to being very dire and very kind of worrisome, full of stress, full of kind of very deep, because I always see the five as being this sense of being kind of dragged down into the emotions. Like this is a heart-shaped shell for me here. I even see this as a kind of some kind of creature here as well, this shell here, which is kind of in some ways it's kind of what's the word? It's kind of taken over. Yeah, a sense of kind of something that's kind of taken over her life, because you can't actually see her. She is a mermaid, so you can't actually see her body. You can't actually see her own tail here. But there is just this sense of going from the 10 or the 5, or sorry, from the 10 down to the depths of the 5 here. And if you look at her head here as well, she always seems to me as if kind of like, you know, it's too much. Everything's too much. It's too much emotion. It's too much. She can't deal with it. She can't cope with it. And like I said, that could be because it's been too good, and it's been a situation where sometimes when things are too good, we don't know how to cope with them if we're not used to those kind of relationships. Or something very sudden. I just feel that something very sudden happened that has kind of changed the energy and the dynamic of this relationship. And now, whether it's yourself, Aries, or whether it's the cross-watcher, which I will also say, see, because I haven't done any of these readings for a while, so I've completely forgotten to say anything about the cross-watchers, and I do apologise, cross-watchers, for that. Cross-watchers, you may also want to check out your own natal chart as well down below. If you're interested in Aries, you have been in a relationship with an Aries, or you're wanting a relationship with an Aries, it may also help you to understand a little bit more about what's happening in your own life if you kind of check out your own astrological chart and see what's happening, because your chart will give you your own planets, where they were at the time of your birth, and you can kind of look at the planets today as well and see what's happening in relation to your own chart as well. And that does help. So this deck of cards I'm using here is going to be for you, Aries, and this deck of cards that I'm using here is going to be for the cross-watcher here. They can be swapped over. The energies can be swapped over. So if you're feeling that this read is making more sense for you with the other deck of cards, then if it resonates that way, then that's just how it is. So just swap the cards over and just take what makes sense, what resonates, what feels right. If it doesn't feel right, then just ignore it or let it go, or look maybe in your other, like your moon or your rising as well, for other messages, because you may find some more there. Particularly at this time, I would recommend your Venus itself, because this is a kind of forward Venus love reading. And the first card that we have out here for you, Aries, the 10 of Swords. And that's really interesting. I've never seen that before, but when I was looking very quickly at that deer there, it looks like a love heart. I've never seen that. It's just suddenly sprung out at me. It's amazing what can happen with cards sometimes. You think you know them. So, the 10 of Swords is a completion. It's a final ending. It's saying that something that has been long-lasting, possibly this energy here as well, or maybe you are finally coming to a conclusion that you've got to lay all this to rest, that it's just dragging you under, it's just dragging you down, because your mind won't let it go either. And that's really what the 10 of Swords is about. It's about releasing things mentally from your mind, because otherwise you're just going to keep it going over and over and over again. And I just keep seeing that deer as a love heart now. That's just mad. Absolutely crazy. Never seen that like that. If I put it closer, you can see that it's actually a very kind of gentle deer, which is interesting as well, because for me what it's kind of saying as a deer is that there is this need to be gentle with yourself, kind to yourself here, take care of yourself, look after yourself. don't beat yourself up over this, is kind of the message that I'm getting here. And that this heart is all about, it's your heart that's on the line here. It's your heart that you need to take care of here, Aries. But there is a sense of exhaustion here as well. If you see him lying on the ground down there, he's just completely done in. Just completely. It's just like, cannot take any more. Male or female, doesn't make any difference. This is the card of the air signs. Air energy, the mind. And the mind can be very brutal. It can really kind of play games with us. It can really trick us into believing things that may not be true. The mind can be our worst enemy. You know, we can be our own worst enemy. Because we allow ourselves to kind of get trapped in thoughts of ways of thinking that we find it difficult to release ourselves from. But this 10 here is saying to me, it is time to let that go. It is time to release. It is time to free yourself from that constant thought pattern. Each one of those swords kind of represents to me different like mental how can I put it, like arguments in your own head, like you're arguing with yourself all the time. This isn't necessarily about arguments outside, this is about your own head space that we're talking about here. It's up the right way, so that's a positive. So it is definitely saying that this has to, or is coming to an end. So let's see what your challenge is here, Aries. What's the challenge for Aries here? And it could be as well that this deer is kind of coming in as a gentle soul who's going to... Okay, I'm getting kind of lick your wounds, if you know what I mean. It's kind of, they're going to take care of you, they're going to nurture you, they're going to want to like just be gentle with you. Somebody who understands that you've been through a lot. And it's kind of more of a supportive energy than anything else. I don't think it's a relationship energy. I just see it more as a kind of gentle, supportive energy of somebody here. And they don't have any other agenda. That's another thing as well that I'm picking up here. There's no other agenda from this person. They're just there to support, help, and be completely compassionate and kind towards you. And help you to recover. There is a recovery in this card as well. Something is recovering. You have been, or you are, down in the depths of your emotions at this time with the 5 of water. And I do feel that it was very sudden. That it went from like the 10 to the 5 very quickly. So, let's see, universe. Why is the 10 of Swords here for Aries, please? Why is the 10 of Swords here for Aries? Sorry about that. Sometimes they do just fly. Okay, so I'm going to take the Ace, and we also have the King of Pentacles. I'm going to put the rest back. So the Ace of Swords has come out in reverse. And this is your cross, well, it would come out in reverse, but it is your crossing energy. It is your challenge at this time. So when an ace comes into our lives, it's a new energy, it's a fresh energy, it's an energy that's kind of there and it needs direction, it needs to be focused into something, it needs to have a channel in many ways in order to be able to kind of turn into something more than just that initial energy, because that's what it is, it's an initial energy. And I often do see this ace as well as a kind of, you know, the pen is mightier than the sword type energy here, because it always looks to me like that is a pen here. Sword is, the sword can be the sword of truth, it can be very cutting. You could have been very deeply wounded, I feel. Hurtful. This is your challenge. Your challenge, I feel, is not to retaliate, maybe. Not to jump on that. That kind of... again, that pattern of kind of, you know, going back down that same road. Of using the sword as a weapon rather than using it as something that you can kind of free yourself from something with, because the sword can also be used in that way. With our mind, we can kind of mentally cut ourselves off from things that don't work for us, things that are no longer helping us, nurturing us, feeding us. It's come out also with the King of Pentacles. This could be the person that I was talking about here. This person who wants to help out. Or it could also be, it's earth energy. So the King is an energy of maturity. And when it's the Pentacles, it's to do with being very grounded, very much in their body. There's somebody who very much likes the good things in life. They like to, when it's upright, they're very good at sharing their good fortune in many ways. Because the King of Pentacles has a knack, or can have a knack, of knowing how to make the physical world work for them, shall we say. It doesn't have to be a man, it can be a female. It's just the kind of energy of somebody who's almost like reached a point where they don't question their ability to receive anymore when it's upright. They kind of know that it will come. So earth energy, Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. You could have one of these in your life at this time, Aries. You could be dealing with one of these signs at this time, or it could be that you yourself need to focus your energy on this at this time. That you need to kind of maybe build something for yourself here. Something that you can in the future share here as well, because it has come out with this as a crossing card. So this is a challenging energy here. For some of you it could also be competition. For some of you it could also be competition, somebody who makes you want to work harder in a way. Somebody who makes you want to, somebody you look up to. It could be a father figure, it could be a brother, it could be an uncle. Again, it doesn't have to be masculine energy, but it's somebody who's got quite a powerful character, somebody who kind of knows who they are, they know themselves, they have an air of authority about them in some ways. So let's see what else comes out for you here, Aries. What's in your head and what are you thinking, or what are you aware of at this time? No. Two of Swords in reverse. In your head, Ace and the 2. And I saw the Ace, sorry, originally in reverse as well here. So I'm getting the feeling that somehow it's kind of, you're still going down this kind of negative way of thinking, this negative path, this negative, maybe even wanting to, dare I say it, get revenge here on something. There is a decision. And often, like this sword, I see it as literally crossing of swords, like arguments. Arguments, this card for me. Particularly when it's upside down. And they're both upside down, so on some level as well, it's kind of the 3 of sword energy here as well. And the 3 of sword energy is about heartbreak as well. So be careful of that as well. Of kind of at this time causing more damage than it's going to resolve. I also feel that you're not listening to your intuition here either, Aries. You're not listening to your intuition. It's come out with the King of Cups, and he's all about intuition. He's all about listening to your emotions. Listening to what your inner self is saying here. Because there is a decision that needs to be made, but it could be a decision that's made in the kind of heat of the moment, rather than it being something that is kind of thought through and done carefully. Maybe this is what this King of Cups is saying here as well. This could also possibly be this energy. Again, this kind of gentle, dear energy, which to me today is just, every time I see it, it's just coming through as a red love heart here. Kind of in the background as well. It's kind of like something in the background there that you may not be aware of at this time, Aries. Is also how I'm seeing it. Maybe you've got to resolve something within yourself before you can move forward with something. Maybe that King of Cups energy, maybe something that you're wanting to move into, to kind of bring more into your environment. This King of Cups energy, that you want to actually be that King of Cups energy itself, so that you yourself are much more sensitive to other people's needs and other people's lifestyle, or it's a caring energy, the King of Cups. It's an energy of caring for others. But it is also a very intuitive, sensitive. It can be oversensitive, but it's not upside down. So today I'm going to read it more as somebody who's much more kind of in tune with their own emotions here. And I still see it, actually. I do see it as this energy here. There's this gentle energy in the background, and maybe you are aware of it, but maybe you're only aware of it as a kind of, because it's like in the background. That's kind of what I'm getting. I'm getting it that it's kind of behind you somehow, that it's something that's in your, not in your past, it's very much in your present, but you're kind of holding it back there rather than it being brought into your future or your present energy. Maybe it's something that makes you very emotional. Situation here that's making you, because the Five of Water is overwhelming emotion. It's just that full of, you know, that sinking down into the very depths of your emotion. Getting dragged under, almost like a current, almost like, you know, when the current takes you, you can't resist it. It's just pulling you under, is how I'm really feeling that today. And a sense of loss as well. Sense of loss, despair. So there's a lot of sword energy here. There's a lot of mind energy, a lot of kind of thinking things over and over and over and over again. And not really finding any answer either, I feel, at this time. It's like you're not really, even though you've got that 10 there and you can kind of finish it, it's almost like you just go straight back into that energy again with this ace here. It's almost like you get to the end and then it just restarts again, is what I'm picking up here. I feel with that King of Pentacles that it is kind of about you focusing more on your own needs and your own wants here. Taking care of you. Because the King of Pentacles can also be very self-indulgent. And sometimes, you know, I mean, you've got the King and King of Water, which is Scorpio, Pisces and Cancerian energy here. And this energy. And they go very well together, actually, these two energies, because they kind of feed. It's like the water feeds the earth energy here and helps things to grow. So the actual energies themselves of the earth and the water are a very positive mixture. Well, that's interesting because this card was at the bottom of the deck when I cut the cards earlier, and it was in reverse as well. And so the Emperor energy in reverse can be an energy of being very controlling. This is the place of what you've been working with, what's moving away from you. So you yourself may have been this energy, Aries. It is quite a kind of fiery energy. Some people liken the Emperor to Aries energy. Personally, I don't see this as Aries energy. I see it more as Leo energy, because Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun to me is the Emperor energy. You don't get any kind of higher than the sun, or any more kind of, yeah, it's like, you know, the sun is the center. Everything kind of moves around the sun. So that's why I kind of see the Emperor, because the Emperor was the highest, like, hierarchy, really. You didn't argue with the Emperor. So I'm kind of getting a sense of things being very volatile. There have been quite a lot of situations that haven't gone your way. Just this sense of volatility, of kind of trying to control things, and maybe in the controlling of things, things got more out of hand, because sometimes that can happen as well. The more we try to control a situation, the less it comes under control, if you like. But also because there's a lot of kind of fire in the background here as well. And it is ruled by the sun, which is all about fire and passion driven and volatility, and especially when it's up this way. This again can be a very overpowering energy. It can be an authority figure. It can be again a father figure. It's very much to do with a masculine driving energy. It doesn't have to be a man. It can also be a female who portrays these energies as well. Somebody who's very controlling, who wants to take over everything and have everything their own way. You all know what that means for you, Aries. There's a sense of almost like a sense of superiority in a way as well. Of somebody trying to outdo the other person here maybe as well. What I was talking about earlier is competitive energy on some level. Because the Emperor wants to be at the very top. I mean, that's the Emperor energy. It wants to be at the top. It's top dog energy, the Emperor. Doesn't like being second best, particularly when it's upside down as well. Really doesn't like being second best. So it might have been a situation where you've had a lot of your buttons pushed as well, and a lot of things have kind of triggered this energy within you, Aries. That's a possibility here as well. Or this could also be the cross-watcher that's been triggered here. But either way, this energy has been around for a while because it's Emperor energy. It's an energy that you've been having to work with and work through for some time now. And you have the Justice card in reverse as well down here. And I always see this Justice card as being like this center point of these scales as being a sword. There's also a sun down here as well. So again, it kind of reflects this Emperor energy as I was talking about. But again, it's in reverse. This is underneath. This is the subconscious realm. So there is a deep feeling of something not being right or fair or just or balanced. A lot of disharmony, which is what I was kind of picking up on. Disharmony, volatility, things not being in the right place even. Like maybe you feeling that you should have had more control over a situation than you did have. And feeling that maybe that's also why things all fell apart, possibly because you weren't taken seriously enough maybe as well. For me, the Justice card is the energy of Mercury. I see justice more as, Mercury, as the Mercury energy rather than the Libra energy. Because justice is all about these decisions, really. It's the decisions that we have to make. And she wears a blindfold, and she's blindfolded twice here as well. And she wears a blindfold here because she has to make decisions from fairness and the facts, the logical side of things, rather than the heart, rather than the emotions. The emotions have to be removed from a situation when it comes to justice. Otherwise, if our heart gets in the way, then we can't make a balanced decision. And that's what this is saying for me here, which is why I see it much more as mercurial kind of head energy, because Mercury rules the mind, the day-to-day processes. So both of these cards here are blindfolded, which is why we have like blind justice. Justice is blind for that reason. It's kind of saying on some level, justice also says to take a backward step and try and see it from a third person point of view as well, so that you're not emotionally caught up in a situation here. Not to be ruled by your emotions. And maybe that's also why this King of Cups energy is here, because maybe you are at this time being very kind of ruled by your emotions. Emotionally, the decision that you're making may not be ultimately for your right, you know, for your own good. If it's being made from an emotional place, if it's being made from this kind of what's the word I'm looking for here? A place where you're not grounded, where you're not just entangled, just emotionally entangled is what I'm getting, because I keep seeing that heart, and I keep kind of getting pictures of this deer and this heart here as well. And kind of emotional entanglement, because I do feel that it was something that happened very fast. And quite possibly unexpectedly. So the Justice card for me here is saying that on some deeper level, this situation never really seemed very fair or balanced in the first place, because it is in reverse. So it's like everything was already out of balance, and what we have coming out here is the Judgment card. And again, I kind of see this as another heart as well. So this is saying to me that, you know, there's a lot of emotion in this situation. There's a lot of love in this situation. It's kind of, you've given a lot into this situation, Aries. But you're not, with the Judgment card in reverse, what it's saying, this is the energy that's moving in, that you're going to be dealing with. And it's saying to me here that you're not You're not seeing, I feel as though it's like you're not seeing things clearly enough here. Again, there's this same kind of symbolism going on here as well. You see this triangle, this point, it's all leading up to this point. It's kind of what I'm feeling. You can see that, it's kind of like it's all leading to this point. And for me, it's kind of saying, like, yeah, it's kind of saying that you're not, coming from a very balanced place in order to be able to make any kind of judgment or decision at this time. You've got 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards here, and every one of them is in reverse. And they're the longer lasting kind of energies here. X and X. It could have something to do with, you know, somebody who you do feel very strongly is your better half, other half, twin flame, soulmate, karmic connection. It could be that you want to bring something back, but it's in reverse. So even if you do try, it could be very hard. It could have very what's the word I'm getting here? Very kind of negative connotations on some level, that you almost, I feel as though you know what you need to do, but you don't want to really completely do it. Aries, you know on some level that you have to kind of, that you're going to have to reach this point. And again, that's kind of what I'm feeling here as well. You've got these swords here as well that are kind of reaching that point. It's like X marks the spot there. That's kind of what I'm seeing or feeling. Either maybe that something has come to an ending here, but you're not willing to accept that. And you want to bring it back to life. Because there is these kind of dancing, if I turn it up the other way, you can see these dancing figures down here that are kind of being resurrected, called up. Judgment kind of talks about the judgment day, the rising of the dead, and for me the dead is also about past situations, past experiences, things that we need to let go and release in order to be able to move on, in order for a fresh beginning. But I feel because it's in reverse that this is something you are not really wanting to do here, Aries. You're not really wanting to let it go. And on some level you may feel as though you kind of do, but it's like there's a kind of ghost energy here. Kind of ghosting, not a ghosting energy as such, but like a ghost energy, like something that is kind of just keeping you in that same vibration. So Aries, let's see what else we have for this person who you have a connection with here. The person that Aries has a energetic connection with. Energetic, emotional, physical, mental, spiritual connection with. What is the energy for the person that Aries has a connection with? emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, energetically. The person Aries is still connected with. The person that Aries is still connected with. Okay, so we have the Three of Cups, which is normally a card of celebration, but I don't really see it as celebration in this particular deck. And the reason I don't see it as celebration is because she actually, although she's getting married there, and that's why the celebration is said to be happening. It's a bit of an odd marriage, but she can't see him. This is Eros. He is immortal and she is mortal. And so there's a sense of this person doesn't really know what they want, is what I'm kind of getting from this. This person doesn't know whether they want to put their time and their energy and their effort into this. You could also say as well that one person was more invested in this than the other as well. That one of you, maybe this person, maybe yourself, Aries, but somebody possibly also held back on things as well on an emotional level. Somebody maybe also possibly kept secrets. Because the wedding is taking place in the dark, under the moon, and the moon is often seen as being something kind of, you know, secrets. Things aren't revealed yet. Things haven't been completely revealed or explained, or but something is kind of, I feel as though something has been not as upfront as it could have been, shall we say, not as open and honest here. Somebody held something back. Somebody held something back here, is what I'm picking up. That's too many and I'm not taking all of them. But they did want to celebrate it. There is a sense of wanting to celebrate it. There is a sense of wanting to take this further, of wanting to enjoy themselves with it. Allow themselves to enjoy it, or and that's maybe what I was getting with earlier when I was talking about the 10 of water and the 5 of water, and how sometimes if something's too good, like, to be true in a way, like if we feel as though, you know, we don't deserve something that's that good, then we can also make sure that we don't get to keep it. And so behaviour can become kind of erratic and like not make any sense sometimes as well. So it's a card of kind of saying, you know, do I want to take this further? Is it time for me to get out of this now before I invest myself into it too much and get into it too deeply? Because there's also a possible sense of, like, you know, is it going to hurt me? Am I going to end up being hurt by this? Yeah. 5 of Pentacles here. And this person is, if they haven't already, they are definitely thinking about walking away from this. Somebody's definitely thinking about leaving the situation or putting somebody else out of the situation here. This is the crossing card, the covering energy. And again, we've got the nighttime, the moon energy here. Undercover, something that was kept undercover, something was kept quiet, secret. So this could have even been a wedding that actually took place here for you, Aries. And it was an initial celebration, but it didn't kind of fully get to this energy maybe, or maybe it did, but it didn't last very long, is what I'm kind of feeling. It didn't last very long. And we got the Empress card that's come out with this Five of Pentacles as well. So they too have got these two covering cards here. And the Empress energy is an energy of somebody who just kind of ticks all the boxes for somebody. They see them as the one, the perfect partner. They have the ability to give this person everything that they want or feel that they need from this. The perfect female, perfect mother, especially when it's upright. An energy of giving, abundance, nurturing, caring. And in their head, and what they're aware of here, Aries, the Three of Pentacles, is that they did want to work with this. They did want to make this a team effort. It's interesting because you've got Three of Cups and you've got Three of Pentacles as well. So again, it's just that kind of initial start of something. It's not something that's gone too far down the road, is what I'm kind of keep getting here. But it did have potential. It did have potential. It had potential for growth. It had potential to become a lot more than it was, or than it did. This person saw a future here with the Three of Pentacles. That they could build something. Share something, create something with somebody else. Oops. Interesting, I saw you pop out earlier. Okay, so the Hierophant has come out in the energy of where this person, what this person has been working on, with the Seven of Pentacles here as well. And the Hierophant in this particular card for me is the wounded healer. This is Chiron, the wounded healer. And so it says that this person has been kind of working on themselves, that they realise that they need to do work on themselves in order to kind of grow, to go beyond where they have been. This is not your traditional Hierophant. So this person may have been quite alternative in their outlook and in the way that they did things in their life as well. They may have been a little bit, what's the word? controversial, or yeah, controversial, that kind of energy of not fitting in, maybe. Or feeling that they didn't fit in. With the Seven of Pentacles here as well, this is a card of dilemma, because in this card he's being offered something that he doesn't know whether it actually is the thing that he should be taking, in the sense of, you know, is this something that's kind of divinely inspired, or is this something that's going to lead me down a garden path to a kind of dead end? And I think that's what the problem was here as well with this person. I think I'm getting kind of a lack of trust here as well. But even when this person, if you were married to this person, or long-term kind of, I don't get the feeling of it being a really long-term relationship. I get the feeling of it being something that happened quickly. And this person felt as though they didn't fit in. That may even be this person that has left here as well, because they feel they didn't fit in. But if that is the case, they haven't told you, they haven't given you that explanation or that reason. And it is kind of quite an ingrained thing with them as well, that they don't know where they fit in. Because they are different, they are not of the norm, they don't kind of think in the same way that other people think, they don't kind of act or behave, or they're very alternative, is kind of what I'm picking up here. And this energy on some level, I mean, usually this would be seen as being very traditional, but for me this card in this deck is not traditional. Whereas this is much more traditional, the Emperor energy. Because the Emperor is all about kind of lineage. When you become an Emperor, you have to behave in a certain way. You have to be traditionally kind of... you have to keep that kind of tradition going, if you like, of being the Emperor, of the power structure that is behind the job, so to speak, of being an emperor. So it could have been that there was some very conflicting energies here, very conflicting kind of ways of looking at the world. And you've got the Ace of Cups that's come out here with this Justice card. And it has come out the right way as well. So this person was wanting to give you this cup that they hold here. I go so far as to say that they were in love. And that deep down subconsciously, which is where this Ace of Cups is that they did have very strong feelings for you here, Aries. There was a lot of love here, because this is a very big cup as well. Look at this cup, it's very, very large. And I also get the feeling as well, this person doesn't just give this cup away to anybody. That it has to be right. That if it doesn't feel right to them, then they can't pretend. But I do feel as though with this Five of Pentacles here, I just feel on some level that something was kept, I don't even really want to say hidden, but it was like something about their personality maybe that wasn't obvious or apparent at the time that later became more so. And maybe that has got something to do with this Hierophant energy as well. That maybe they came over as being a bit more or a lot more traditional than they actually were. And over the top of this Judgment card, we have the Nine of Cups in reverse as well. And this is the cup of, oh, the card, sorry, of reunion. When it's up the right way, it speaks of wanting reunion. And I do think that this person does have, like I was saying, these deep feelings and wanting this. Because there is separation here with this Five of Pentacles and this Five of Water. The Five of Cups. There is separation, but I feel as though you're both wanting to do something about it here, but neither of you are really sure how to. Another aspect of the Judgment card can be forgiveness as well, because Judgment does call for forgiveness in order to be able to move on. We need to forgive the situation. We need to forgive ourselves for any part that we feel we may have played in that as well, which is always a biggie, because we tend not to kind of recognise our own role in something as well when it comes to forgiveness. So we tend to kind of want to forgive the other, but forget that we need to also forgive ourselves. So that could also be why this is in reverse. But I feel as though neither of you really know how to take the next step forward here. Because this is the wish fulfillment card. This is things, yeah, one before this card here as well. Which is what you are trying to get back to if you have already been at that place. That's the energy that you're trying to return to here. But I just feel as though neither of you, like I was saying, neither of you really know how to go about it. Or even what will come of it if you do. Or is it the right thing? And what's interesting in this card as well, sorry, is that if you look at it upright, they're holding these three cups here. Which the Three of Cups down here are being held by these three, and they are all three celebrating this. And you also have Aphrodite down here, the goddess of love, who is also here. She never did wear many clothes, Aphrodite. And she is the mother of Eros. So Aphrodite and Eros, or Cupid, as he's also known. This is Cupid here. This is Psyche. And this is kind of the journey through the trials and kind of tribulations of love. So the Three Cups are here, which leaves these six down here, and six cards, or the Six of Cups. Six Cups. The card of the Six of Cups in Tarot deck is about a kind of energy of melancholy and kind of reflection on the past. It can also be twin flame energy as well. It can also be karmic energy. If you believe in twin flames or soulmates. It can also relate to that. It can relate to somebody who you've had past lifetime relationships with, or even somebody who you have known for a very long time in your life, maybe from childhood, maybe there's been separation and then maybe you've come back together again later in life, but you've come back together as very different people who don't actually know each other that well anymore. So that can also have a lot of confusing energy about it as well, but I just think it's interesting that these 3 cups that are being held by these 3 here is about that celebration, this card. But like I said, it's in reverse. So you are, I think, both kind of focusing on trying to get to that place, but neither of you, Aries, are completely sure how to go about it, is kind of what I'm getting here. But there is love. That's the thing about it. Aphrodite, goddess of love. And there's an awareness of love as well within it all, running through the whole kind of thing in some ways. But like I said, one person may well have been more invested or knew their feelings on a deeper level than the other person, particularly if it was 2 people coming back together or meeting up again after a period of time of knowing each other. Maybe one had never told the other one how they felt. Maybe that was the secret that was being kept hidden. Okay, so we have 2 moon cards here, and we have blue moon and the full moon, and the blue moon is saying believe in the impossible, and the full moon is saying surrender to the divine, which is interesting because this for me kind of represents this energy here of something that's being offered and you don't know if it's divinely being offered, because it's something that's going to kind of change your life completely. But according to these moon cards here, that is the case. Surrender to the divine and believe in the impossible. So it's kind of basically saying, like, you know, believe that anything can happen and surrender it. Let it go. Surrender it. Give it over to the divine, which I think is also this card here. So maybe Aries, you're kind of, whether this is the cross watcher or yourself, somebody's trying to work things through kind of on a very mundane level when really it needs to be released, forgiven, released, let go of, in order for this kind of new beginning to take place. So I'm going to quickly pull some angel light cards here. Oh, that one came out very quickly. Oh, we got 2 here. I'm going to take one from the middle as well. Okay, and do the same with these angel blessing oracle cards too. See what we get. One from the bottom, one from the top, and one from the middle if none of them jump out. One more shuffle. Okay. Top. Oh. Top, bottom, and the middle. So I was just reading that and getting kind of caught up in the message there. So the first angel card here is saying commitment. And it says, angel wisdom reminds you that when you aim for a vision, without doubt or deviation, it must succeed, which is a bit like this believe in the impossible moon card here. Your guidance is to persevere towards your vision. Let every thought, word and action be directed towards your desired outcome. Nothing is more powerful than focused energy, and the angels will see the pure light of your commitment, whether it is to a relationship, a piece of work, a journey, or anything else in your life. Remember to ask them for help, and know when you dedicate your intention to the highest good, they will support you. And the affirmation here is, I'm committed to my vision. Which I do think is very much this card. Believe in the impossible and surrender to the divine. Very appropriate. So the card that's come out with this, the Angel Oracle Blessing, is the Shadow or Shadows. And it says, love the shadows within you. So this could also have something to do with this judgment energy here as well, as shadow energy, these ghosts that I was talking about from the past. Releasing them, but forgiving them, forgiving you and your past energy. It's very kind of dark blue energy to me. It looks like third eye chakra, indigo blue energy here. Intuition, that inner knowing, that trusting yourself. And the next card we have is understanding. Your angel guidance is to examine yourself and your current situation in depth, so you have a clear awareness of the underlying reasons for your challenges and situations. Acquaint yourself with facts about situations and attitudes before you take decisions. It could also have something to do with this card here, the decision card. Self-awareness is a necessary foundation on which to build strong relationships, friendships, and work. Understanding your personality is a basis for understanding your spiritual self and your mission on earth. Ask your angel to help you. And the affirmation here is, I seek an understanding of myself and my life. And we also have with this card, abundance. Angels bless you with abundance, which is this Empress energy as well, this very abundant energy here. Very similar in colour as well, red, kind of reddy orange, working with the lower chakra energies, survival, connection to the earth herself, nature, seeing the abundance in everything. Can also be working through fear as well, working through fear of scarcity, working through fear of not having enough, and seeing the abundance that's already there in your life. And so the choices card, which is the next card that's come out, says, when you worry about decisions, it means that your mind is trying to control your life, and that results in choices made from your ego. Your angel guidance is to consider and evaluate all the options, then let go of your head and choose from your heart that which gives you greatest joy and feels right. And again, I kind of get the sense with this card here, with this deer that just looks like a heart energy here. And also the letting go. It's all about releasing and letting go in many ways. Make choices for the highest good. Remember that if something is not for your highest good, it certainly is not for the highest good of those around you. So let go of false feelings of responsibility for others and choose with wisdom. Become still and attune to your soul as ask your angels for guidance and help. Then, from your point of deep inner stillness, make your choices easily and spontaneously. I choose for my highest good. And that point has kind of jumped out at me as well, because that's what I was saying about these cards earlier, that they all seem to be kind of pointing to something. So that's interesting. Ask your angels for guidance and help. Then from your point of deep inner stillness, make your choices easily and spontaneously. My affirmation is I choose for my highest good. And it has come out with the Angel of Light. And it says, angels light the way. Which again kind of reminds me of this card here, of surrendering to the divine. Very similar kind of colours and energy about it as well. Surrendering to the divine, surrendering to the higher energies, letting things go. So Aries, that's been your reading for today. I really hope that you've enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, please could you like it up for me in order to get it out onto the bigger platform of the YouTube world, so that people can check out my videos, come back to my channel, look at my other videos, maybe subscribe and help to grow my channel, which is really what I'm trying to do. And for those of you who have subscribed to my channel recently, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Having you there to kind of help me build this is really, really, it just makes me feel really excited. It's probably the best way. Every time I get a new subscriber, I'm kind of very excited about it, and I tell my daughter about it and kind of celebrate it. So if anybody else wants to join my channel, please feel free to do so. Tap the bell so you can get the future videos as and when I put them out as well. I do new moon, full moon and the astrology videos, as I was saying, and all the zodiac signs as well. So also, if you feel like sharing this video with anybody who you think it may resonate with or may help them, please feel free to do so. And take very good care of yourself, Aries, and hopefully I will see you again soon.